I want you to look at this photograph. Imagine the narrator holding up a photo of herself looking radiant in her wedding dress. I spent years dreaming of this one moment. I looked at my wedding dress and thought that life couldn't possibly offer anything more beautiful, more complete. My heart was pounding not just with joy, but with the quiet conviction that I had finally conquered every obstacle. This wasn't just a marriage, it was the final, triumphant answer to every doubt about my future with my love, Mark. I was the only daughter of two hardworking immigrants, a highly successful architect, and today, I was the luckiest bride in the world. This was my final, beautiful delusion. But when my groom's procession, the Barrett, arrived at my door, my euphoria shattered in a single, brutal instant. Standing at the threshold, my would-be father-in-law, Mr. Harrison, discreetly slipped a small, folded note into my father's hand. Then, in front of the entire gathering, he made his demand, his voice devoid of any warmth or respect. The keys to a brand new BMW must be given now, or the wedding is off. My son is leaving. My world stopped. My breath caught in my throat. This was not a negotiation. This was a public execution of my dignity. And the most shocking twist of all? My groom, Mark, stood completely silent, his eyes glued to the ground, offering no defense. Before I reveal the shocking aftermath of that public demand and the devastating choice I made when my love turned into a thief, let me know, which major city in the USA are you watching this story from right now? Let me see where our most resilient listeners are located. And if you believe that self-respect is more valuable than any marriage, please hit that subscribe button right now and join our community. You are about to witness the moment a beautiful bride turned into a cold, calculated avenger. My name is Layla, and I grew up knowing the value of struggle. My parents immigrated to the US with almost nothing. They spent 2 decades building their small restaurant business so that I could go to the best schools and become a successful architect. My wedding was their life savings, their pride, their final legacy. Mark came from a seemingly refined, established family. They were wealthy, educated, and well-connected. I met Mark in college. He was charming, attentive, and I genuinely believed, loved me. But looking back, there were always subtle warnings. His mother, Mrs. Harrison, would often comment on our house. It's so cozy, Layla. So utilitarian. His father, a retired executive, constantly questioned my parents' financial decisions. When we finalized the wedding plans, they insisted on a massive, ostentatious reception, placing immense financial stress on my parents, which I now realize was calculated. My father sold a small plot of land he was saving for his retirement just to meet their demands. Mark never intervened. He always dismissed my concerns. It's just how my parents are, Layla. It's their culture. Just ignore it. It's for the best. The wedding day dawned with perfect sunshine. My nerves were high, but my heart was soaring. I was ready. When the groom's procession arrived, a long line of expensive black cars, not a BMW among them, ironically, the tension was immediate. The Harrison family marched in, their faces stern and formal. They didn't offer the warmth or joy expected of in-laws. They were assessing an acquisition, not celebrating a union. My father, wearing his best suit, his eyes shining with pride and anxiety, greeted Mr. Harrison at the door. I was watching from the upstairs window, waiting for my cue. That's when I saw it. Mr. Harrison's face was cold. He was talking rapidly to my father, gesturing back at the street. My mother stepped in, her hands clasped nervously. I saw my father's face crumble. The sheer despair was instantaneous. I couldn't wait any longer. I rushed down the stairs in my elaborate wedding gown, the delicate lace catching on the banister. Dad, Mom, what's wrong? Mark? What's happening? I asked, looking from my distressed parents to the stern Harrison family. Mr. Harrison stepped forward, holding the small, folded piece of paper I had seen earlier. Layla, as a successful young woman, you should appreciate the value of an asset. Mark's position in society demands a certain level of comfort. Your parents have been, shall we say, reluctant to provide a suitable vehicle that reflects his status. My mother whispered fiercely, We gave them the money for the furniture, the gold, everything they asked for. Mr. Harrison ignored her. He looked at me, then at my father. We informed them yesterday. The BMW 7 Series. Full option. We need the keys now. Without that car, the family leaves. Mark will not stay. It's non-negotiable. This is the new price for our daughter-in-law. My entire world narrowed down to Mark. He was standing just a few feet away, handsome in his tuxedo, the man I was supposed to pledge my life to. He saw the naked humiliation on my father's face, the terror in my mother's eyes, and the shock in mine. I locked eyes with him. Mark, say something. Tell them this is insane. Tell them you love me, not a car. Mark did nothing. He stared at the ground. He shuffled his feet. His silence was deafening. It wasn't shame, it was compliance. He was choosing the BMW and his parents' approval over me. The shock was a physical wave. The tears that had been threatening to fall vanished, replaced by an ice-cold clarity. The sacrifice, the love, the shared dreams, they were all a lie. He was just a spoiled accomplice to his family's greed. My father, tears welling up, stepped towards Mr. Harrison. Sir, please, we can arrange a loan. Give us a week. I put my hand on my father's arm, stopping him. The dignity and peace in my touch instantly silenced the bargaining. I took a deep breath. I was no longer the bride. I was the architect of my own destiny. I addressed Mr. Harrison, my voice clear and resonating, carrying easily to the crowd of onlookers and photographers. Mr. Harrison, I understand the need for high-value assets. But I am an architect. I designed the $40 million high-rise project downtown. My net worth is already significantly higher than your son's, and likely yours, sir, if we factored in your pending liabilities. The Harrison family exchanged nervous glances. They hadn't expected the traditional bride to be so sharp. You demanded a BMW 7 Series for your son's status. But a family that values a car more than the woman who earned her own success is not a family I will marry into. My self-respect is an asset I will not transfer to you. I reached up, unhooked the diamond earrings my parents had worked so hard to buy me, and placed them in my father's hand. I gently took my mother's hand and squeezed it. Then the final, calculated move. I walked directly up to Mark. The photographers were snapping wildly. I pulled the delicate engagement ring off my finger, the ring that symbolized a 2-year illusion, and placed it, not on the ground, but directly into Mark's breast pocket. Mark, I said, my voice cutting through his shame. Take this ring. It belongs to the illusion we shared. You chose your parents and their demands over the woman you claimed to love. This is the moment you revealed your true value. You are worth less than a car. I stepped back. The wedding is off. The Harrison family can take their entourage and their outdated demands and leave. My dignity stays here. The groom's family tried to protest, realizing they had just lost a successful, wealthy daughter-in-law. But the crowd was murmuring in support of me. I didn't let the emotional moment end there. I had to ensure this public humiliation had a permanent price. The day after the aborted wedding, while Mark's family was scrambling to manage the social fallout, I put my legal and financial skills to work. Mark's father, Mr. Harrison, was a retired executive, but I knew he still sat on the board of several companies. I started digging into their financial history. The final shocking twist, I discovered that Mr. Harrison's successful retirement was built on questionable financial grounds. He had used a complex shell corporation to transfer a massive, undisclosed debt onto one of his retirement assets, dodging taxes and liability. I found this evidence using my contacts in the legal and auditing world. I didn't file a lawsuit for myself. I filed an anonymous, meticulously documented complaint with the IRS and the SEC, focusing specifically on Mr. Harrison's offshore shell company. 3 weeks later, I received a quiet confirmation from a former colleague. Mr. Harrison was under federal investigation for tax fraud and misrepresentation of assets. The financial demand for the BMW had been a desperate attempt to acquire a high-value, liquid asset to use as collateral against his mounting, secret debts. They hadn't just been greedy, they were financially drowning, and they saw my family's savings as their lifeline. The Harrison family lost everything: their reputation, their assets, and their social standing. Mark's silence cost him his entire inheritance and social network. I returned the money my parents had saved for the wedding, and they used it to expand their restaurant. I kept the wedding dress. I occasionally look at the photograph, not with pain, but with the quiet satisfaction of a woman who chose self-respect over a gilded cage. I stand here today, an independent woman, forever grateful for the cold, hard clarity that came on my wedding day. I lost a fiancé, but I found my worth. I ask you, the viewer, did I make the right decision to walk away from my love and destroy his family's life, or should I have endured the insult for the sake of love? Comment below and let me know. And if you believe that a person's dignity is the only price they should ever pay, please like this video and share it with a friend who needs to hear this story. Thank you for listening to my truth, the truth that cost me a wedding, but gave me my life back.